beautiful people, how you doing? Hey, we are back at it again, and I am excited to talk about what I would say is probably a little bit of a controversial subject. You know, I love these. This really just has to do with belief, and I touched on this in another video where there's a famous quote by Henry Ford, and he says, you know, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you always get to be right. And really what we're trying to do is break down what exactly that means and how deep that goes, right? Because there's another quote, you know, that says your limitations is a circumference of what is around you, and if you believe there's a limitation, you're creating that yourself. Nobody else is but you. And this is something that I still deal with every day, but I embrace it more and more, and I challenge myself, right? Because every can't that we say, we're just limiting ourselves, or it's not possible, or it's not even, there's no way it can happen, right? Because at the end of the day, there are these phenomenons that we live in life, and we hear about them all the time. You know, a great example is if you never looked into placebo effect and how that affects the body, and how you know, people who aren't even given like that, if there was like 3 people that were given you know, they needed knee surgery, and then one of them, you know, actually got the surgery, another one thought they got the surgery, actually went through the whole procedure, and but didn't actually do it. It was like they put them to sleep and everything, but never actually did the procedure. And then there was the third one who was just given like some pills to say, hey, you know, this is gonna help get your knee better, and just take it. And you know, so like the recovery time on all 3 of those varied, but what was interesting was that they all healed. You know, and the middle one, of course, was the most fascinating one, because of the fact that it literally, they didn't even do the surgery. It was just the idea, the thought that the person thought that he was getting the surgery that allowed the body to heal on its own. And these are fascinating things, and I really encourage you guys to look into this and understand, because this is actual medical data. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up, and it happens all the time. And when we put limitations on ourselves, it's just us creating that as our own reality. And the reason why I say this is controversy is because I'm going to be talking a lot about pain and the perception of pain. And when you're going through something, it feels very real, and especially when your body gets involved, it's something that I can't even imagine, right? But I know there's a lot of people out there that are experiencing high levels of pain, and or, you know, like say if you're afraid of heights, or you know, you have an anxiety attack, the body gets involved, and so that makes it way more real, and so that allows you to think, no, this is really happening to me, and there's no way that I can fix this. And I'm here to tell you, and I just want to kind of be a little blunt and say, hey, look, that's not true, right? And it's hard to hear, and it's one of those things that, like I said, you know, people live with this all the time, but they're creating it first in their mind. Because, and again, that's the statement that you really want to ask yourself, right? Because when I started to believe and understand that everything happens in the mind first, it opened up everything, right? Because whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm visualizing, whatever I'm going to sleep with, all these things, that is what I am creating into this reality. And so that includes me feeling as if I have pain, as if I have these, you know, diseases or ailments or whatever, right? And I'll share a little bit of a story, right? A little bit of something personal to me. My father, you know, he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, and not to go into too much of the details, but that is supposedly the deadliest cancer that you can possibly have. And they basically told him at the time, and this was 5 years ago, and he's alive today, so spoiler alert, he is still alive. But at the time, they told him he had 1.5 years to live. And they told him there was no way that he was going to survive this. Everybody that's had mesothelioma ends in death. And, he had fluid in the lungs. And basically, at best, with his health, because he was, he is healthy, that he would have, more than 1.5 years to live. And they also told him, he was going to be anemic, all these things. Long story short, he's still alive today. And, not going into what he did and how he did it, but doctors are calling him a medical miracle. And basically what we had to do was go against what the doctors were saying, which was not easy for him, but it was more of an understanding for me because I have been practicing this stuff. And these are the ultimate goals that you have to literally get to, where you can start challenging what you believe or what you perceive to be the truth, right? People say, oh, that's just reality, the reality of the situation. No, that means that that's what you believe. That is your belief system. Again, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you always get to be right. And so this is something that I've just been wanting to talk about because, I've had a couple of friends and who have, also come to me with very serious situations similar to what my dad was going through. And I just wanted to share that with them, even though we know that this is going to be a challenge. And I'm not saying that oh yeah, this is positive thinking and all you got to do is just think right and things will be fine. And of course, if you're going through pain right now, the last thing I want to tell you is oh yeah, just think positive and it'll be okay. No, these are very real situations, but you also want to just think about when is it not happening? And when it's not happening, how can I look at my situation differently so that I'm not entrapping myself in pain so that when it does come up, it continues to happen. And then you try to play tricks with the mind so that it happens less and less. And you have this belief that you're going to overcome it. And that takes work, and it is, but it's a challenge. And I'm just letting you know that is truly possible because we have the ability to do this. If we get a cut, they talk about this all the time. If you get a cut and it's not deep enough, you don't think about it, but you know that your body's going to heal itself, right? So the body has these abilities to do things naturally. We just forget about it. And so that's where, understanding mind over matter really does play a factor, but it goes deeper than that. And because, we have so much science and information out there, we start having these belief systems. But at the same time, stuff changes, right? They were like, oh, there's no cure for this. We've never seen, this is something that everybody just, dies from or whatever, like these outbreaks that we've had in the past. But all of a sudden, a cure appears, right? But it's because somebody thought different and they said, no, I'm not going to buy into the idea that this is just life and this is just, this is just reality. This is the reality that we created until we change it. So that's all I'm saying to you is just think of it from a standpoint of even though it might seem impossible, it can become possible if you believe that it's possible. And that's the key, is just the belief. Everything starts in the mind. If you can think it, it will become reality over time. But you have to constantly believe it. And your thoughts create what is happening to you. And this is the ultimate key of understanding how life works and how you can truly accomplish anything. Because if you think about everything that's going on with you right now that you're dealing with, just think about it. How'd you go to sleep last night? How'd you go to sleep last week? What were you thinking about throughout the week? And you'll notice that everything that's going on, you somehow created it. And it might not even be so specific. It could just be something as simple as the feelings that you were putting out you are now attracting back into you. And so that's what I'm saying. Those are the type of things that I'm talking about, is that you want to be able to notice these things and be more aware of what is it that you're thinking, and then you can ultimately change that. And this works with anything. And I'm telling you, it can work with pain if you are going through pain. So I just wanted to share that with you guys a little bit. And I know it's a little controversy. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. If you think that I'm wrong, prove me wrong. That's what I'm saying. Don't just say, oh, he's lying, it doesn't make any sense. Actually go out there and prove me wrong. Because this is how I learned. This is how I broke through my own limitations and my limiting beliefs that I started to create, and how I continue to break through these things because of me not thinking normal, thinking outside the box. And that's what I had to do with my dad, and helping him to get through that so that he could still be alive today. Because cancer is a very real situation, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced those type of things, and have led to losing loved ones or family members. We all have, and these are very real things. And again, I'm not trying to take away from that. There's a lot of circumstance when it comes into that, but what I'm telling you is that the mind is where everything starts. And that's what we want to just continue to work on and build. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Got a lot of stuff planned for this week. I don't know when you guys are seeing this. I'm just recording videos at this point. And then we'll keep posting. I've got that interview coming up. I know I'm going to be posting that pretty soon. And we'll go from there. And if you guys haven't already, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the amazing content that I got planned. And like I said, I do plan on going live pretty soon too. Like and comment, and let me know, like, what is your understanding of this, and maybe you guys have your own personal experiences. Talk about that down below. And until next time, you guys, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.